So guys, housing market predictions for the next 5 years promise lots of surprises. So my name's Rock Daniels. I'm a 20-year veteran realtor, general contractor, real estate investor, and house flipper. So the world as we know it has been in a state of flux. The COVID-19 pandemic has driven significant changes, many of which will have long-lasting effects on the world of real estate and land use. Now, the list of the hottest housing markets in 2027 will have a different look from a similar list of today. Now, factors such as emerging technologies, changing demographics, and the rise of remote work will impact the demand and supply in regional housing markets. Now, the U.S. News Housing Market Index is an authoritative source of data that provides a data-driven overview of the housing market nationwide. Now, it's from this index that we're going to draw some of our key findings. Now, after the initial declines and adjustments, national housing prices and rents will most likely track inflation and wage increases. However, there may be considerable differences between regions across the country. Now, remote and hybrid work and education could challenge the housing market status quo and threaten urban finances. Now, the traditional single-family home will become rarer in core urban markets, and more in new single-family homes will be built in homeowner associations, or what we call HOAs. Now, as we refer and enter into 2023, it's reasonable to feel disoriented about the state of the economy and especially the housing market, since we're likely still going to remain in the endings of a global pandemic of historic proportions. Now, economists are offering glimpses into the future that seem to agree on one thing: continuing uncertainty. Now, historically, pandemics have brought about rapid changes in public health, patient care, quality of housing, and even art. Now, although cities have been decimated in past pandemics, they usually prosper in time. The widespread availability of instant communication makes cities much less important to conduct the day-to-day business for up to 45% of the United States' workforce. Now, this will impact land use very deeply. Now, in addition, the pandemic gave Americans a break and also gave us a glimpse as to what life could be like without the stresses of juggling the demanding careers and supporting families around a lengthy commute to and from work. Now, despite enormous pain and suffering brought to us by the COVID-19 pandemic, historians may look back at this time as a very important inflection point when much of the U.S. workforce insisted on keeping a substantial share of the work-life balance they enjoyed during the pandemic. Now, that too will have an impact on land use. Now, given the rapid rise in mortgage rates and the related decline in the affordability during 2022, it stands to reason that home values would need to adjust accordingly. Now, since its last peak in June of 2022, the national S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index fell by 3% through October, and median home prices are predicted to fall 5.3% in 2023 as long as mortgage rates remain relatively high. Now, while it's quite possible for median home prices to fall another 5% in 2024, or a total potential drop of about 10% by the end of 2024, if mortgage rates decline faster than predicted, that can mean home prices could remain relatively flat through the end of 2024. However, if real income rises, inflation, the combination of extra purchasing power plus lower mortgage rates would boost affordability, home sales, and prices. So the housing market has yet to react to the hollowing out of our big cities. Now, once the flexibility known as remote work becomes the norm, and the pull from large cities may weaken, and smaller cities and towns may see an influx of residents coming from these bigger cities. Now, all of these factors more will impact the real estate and land industry in the years to come. Now, as the world continues to change, those in the industry must be prepared to adapt for the new reality. Now, the traditional ways of doing things may no longer work, and those who are quick to embrace this change will be the ones who will succeed. Now, in the end, the future is uncertain, and no one can predict and look in a crystal ball with absolute certainty what the housing market is going to look like in the next decade. So, guys, my name's Rock Daniels, and I want to thank you for joining me today on this journey and urge you to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay informed with everything that has to do with real estate, has to do with construction, has to do with investing. So have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later, my friends.